Welcome back. It's the rounds once again, and you guys know how this works, so let's just get into it here with the horse. Yes, quite. How many other YouTubers go around speaking to the horses, I ask you? He's doing it. He's riding a horse. I can hardly believe my eyes. It does look a little like the horse is doing all the work, though. I mean, that's generally what happens when you're riding a horse, but alright. But just being able to stay on is a huge improvement for him. Like, he's doing it! He's doing it! It's just nice. Can't believe he's finally doing it. I'd given up hope of him learning to ride this year, then this happens. Our little boy is finally growing up. I'm getting all emotional now. Oh, it's completely understandable, yes. You're doing great, Cotton. Keep it up. Just a bit more. I think you're finally getting the hang of it. That's right, Cotton, you're doing great. Try going around one more time. Good job, Cotton. Keep it up just a bit more. Stay calm. Try to match my breathing with his and move slowly forward. Yeah, I think I'm getting the hang of it. Look, I'm riding. Can I speak to the horse? I want to see the horse's situation on this. We actually can. The settlement's begun its migration back to the southern region. Charl's going to be staying with us again soon, too, so we'll have to prepare a little welcoming party for her. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? There's just so much to do. I'm not sure how I'll find the time for it all. Quinn's told us that he plans on staying with the settlement for a while longer. Oh, and should you come back here one day and find us gone, try looking where you first met us. Chances are we'll be there. The move back to the south seems to be going smoothly. We should have little to worry about on that front. Shame the same can't be said for the future in general. How many more years will this war last? No one knows the answer to that. I do. But whatever it is, our way of life will not change. Be it 1 year or 10, we will remain Erebonia's neighbors and people who live in freedom. And that is very true. I pray that the winds and the goddess will continue to watch over us and allow us to do so. Worry not for us. On the contrary, it sounds as though something has happened outside that is cause for celebration. The people of Nord overcome and grow in the face of adversity. So we did during the World Alliance, and so we will now. We should be able to complete moving the settlement within the next few days. The end of the war is unlikely to come quite so soon, but still, I pray that its end will not be in the distant future. Yes. Yes, you enjoy that food there, you enjoy that food. It looks like we should be done preparing for the move by the end of the day. We're almost there now. I'm so glad we're finally going back. We're used to having to move around a lot, but I had to leave in such a hurry that I found myself really wanting to go back. Right, back to getting ready. Oh, by the way, Zeku's finally started to warm up to me a bit. Doesn't try to run away from me anymore, for one. And Kyle probably got Lily and Cotton to thank for that. Now we'll be able to head down south together. You can tell we're getting ready to move by how hectic things are here. We're sending the men out ahead just to make sure everything's safe and ready to go. The rest of us will be heading out tomorrow. Speaking of, I really should be focusing on getting ready. New seasons bring with them the chance to see how they've affected the lands we settle in. That's one of the reasons living on the move's so fun, really. Whoa, right in his face. We've received word about the Asher Tree here, too. Fortunately, it shouldn't have any direct effect on us, given the distance. If you ask me, its appearance is probably linked in some way to what's going on in Crossbell. You think? Yeah, you know what? I think it's something to do with something that's going on in Crossbell, considering how close it is to the city. Yeah. Much like that weapon that erased the fortress. It's that sort of thing like, duh. Well, we can worry about Crossbell's situation later. I'm worrying about it now. I've explained about the tree to everyone here, so they're all up to speed. But right now, we've got neither the time nor the energy to worry about it. Nor the ability. On windy days, on starry nights. Sorry about that. Couldn't help bursting into song. I love putting yurts together like this. We've had some tough times lately, but I know we've got just as many good ones lined up for us. No matter how old you get, it's always exciting to start life anew. Alright, time to get this yurt set up. We've got all the women and children waiting back at the lake for everything to get ready. Can't make them wait too long. No, of course not. So, here we'll wander around though, because like this is different. This is a location we haven't really interacted with at all. So, you know. Yeah, I know, we've barely been here. You don't need to be angry at me, jeez. Have you started moving the settlement back here, Lacken? Indeed. We're keeping watch in case the situation changes for the worse, but we're slowly moving back. If we sense any danger, however, we're prepared to be on the move again at any time. It's a relief to see that it's safe enough to move back now, though. I can't wait to see things back to how they were. We owe all of that to you. I'm certain that it was your crimson wings which brought this good wind to us. That would be nice. If doing what we're doing makes people happy and hopeful for the future, then it's worth it. We should be finished moving everything within the next few days. Please do come and visit when it's all done. We'll be sure to treat you to some of our finest Nord tea when you do. Oh, isn't that lovely? I'll probably switch into Gaius and see if anybody says anything as well soon. It's been difficult getting this far, but we're finally back where we belong. It's kind of moving to finally be back. The Highlands may be vast, but each part of them is special. And we get attached to anywhere we spend time at. I've got memories of being trusted with work by Dad, of Shawl coming by to play. It's hard not to get emotional thinking about it all. It's great to be home. It really is great to be home. Time to put everything I've got into setting things up so everyone else can come back too. I mean, you no need to be... Why are they all angry with me? I don't get it. Like, these one... I didn't do anything. Well, the joke was going to be that when I spoke to the people with Gaius, and then spoke to the horses, it would have been like, oh, it's just that the horses were angry that Gaius wasn't here. But there's no extra lines of dialogue with Gaius there, which you would expect, which is strange. So that ruined my joke. Thank you, Gaius. You Manning, I'm finally back. Yeah. Man, I didn't think seeing this place again would make me feel half this nostalgic. No kidding. It's weird, back when I was last here, all I did was complain about how bored I was, but I've really missed this place. Lieutenant General Vanta has ordered us to take up posts here again. I can't believe I'm finally back here. But now that I am, I'm gonna do a better job of looking after this place than anyone ever could. At the end of the day, this is just a watchtower in the middle of nowhere. You know, I'm feeling all nostalgic just being back here again. I don't even know why either. We're back now. So what's there to feel nostalgic about? It's home. It's your home. That's the best way of putting it. It's an odd home, granted, but it's home. It's home. Welcome to Zenda Gate. The scouting party is just about to leave for Heimdall, actually. You might be able to greet them before they leave. It's almost time for Operation Heimdall to begin, so our preparations now are crucial. I dread to think of how many lives will be lost. Think about being stuck here, unable to do anything while it all just happens. Best to even think about. It's painful to think of how many of my comrades were risking their lives while I'm stationed here during the operation. It's important to do so, though. No, I shouldn't think of it that way. No matter where we are, we're all one under Lieutenant General Vanda. I will simply have to fulfill my task while wishing everyone well in theirs. Yeah, it's like, it's only with you being here that they can fulfill their task. You're very much a needed part of it all. Sounds like the scouts are ready to leave. I'm really nervous about this. What if the North Shore Provincial Army goes back on its word? 3rd Division would be caught in a pincer attack. I mean, they shouldn't, but you really never know. Apparently, assessing the likelihood of the Provincial Army going back on their word is one of the scouts' many tasks. Hope everything works out for them. You know, I'm glad that came up, because that is something I was thinking about as he said that. I was like, yay, wait, yeah, that is something to be... Oh, alright then. Mr. Hoover came by earlier to say goodbye before heading out. I'm really worried about them all, so I thought he was going to say something reassuring, but he just said really embarrassing stuff like, guys are all about breasts, so make sure you drink your milk. When he gets back, I'm going to make him eat the spiciest pizza the world has ever seen. That'll teach him. Dude. Feels stupid for even being worried about him. Yeah. I'll show him when he gets back. Like, what? Why would you say that to a kid? Ugh. I've decided to send my daughter back to the settlement before the battle over in Heimdall breaks out. When I told her, she said I should go and introduce myself because this will be the second time they've taken care of me. Maybe she's right. Maybe I do have a duty as a father to go and speak with them. It's also the best way to make my position very clear to Toma. Need to make sure Toma knows his place because I can't have him getting any closer to my daughter. Hope he's ready for what's coming to him. Well then, I'll be off now. Good luck. Just be sure not to pick any fights with the Nausea soldiers on your way there. Don't worry. I only ever get mad about anything when a chick's involved. That's exactly why I'm worried, sir. Oh, you guys are here too. I'm not going to be here much longer. Got business to attend to elsewhere. Hopefully the next time we meet will be in Heimdall after peace has been won. The role of the scouting team is a bit different this time. After arriving, they will go on to serve as our vanguard. Should Tank Officer Hoover and I meet again, it will be on a chaotic and bloody battlefield. I don't want to make it sound like this may be our last meeting in this life, but it's a possibility. Still, despite his goofball attitude, he's also a careful, capable soldier. What I can do now is have faith in him. Stay safe, Sergeant. I'll be counting on you to take care of the gate in our absence. I'll leave it to me, sir. I look forward to hearing good news from everyone at the front. Lieutenant General Vander's brilliant strategic ability requires accurate information to deliver the best results. That's why we're sending off our finest men ahead as a scouting party. It's a dangerous mission. I'm sure they'll come through for us. I will be praying for their success. Well then, it's about time we got going. Men with me, may our path lead us to glory. To glory! To glory! Yay, and such. Sorry for all the commotion around here. Preparations for Operation Heimdall are underway, so everyone's absorbed in that. We'll be up against the provincial army's most elite forces. If we want to come out victorious, we'll need to use all resources. Center Gate's going to be basically empty during the operation, though. That'll be a surprising sight if you come back then. Oh yeah, Zats and Manning have been reassigned their former mission of taking care of the watchtower. They left not long ago, so I'm guessing they're probably arrived by now. They've had it pretty rough since this war began, but they managed to make it through and return to their old lives. I'm really happy for them. So am I. It's like, yeah. It's like that's where they want to be, that's where you need people to be. It's that win-win, and it's like, oh, it's nice. Again, they get to go home. Operation Heimdall's odds of success are unfortunately low. Which side comes out of this victorious will largely depend on the final adjustments that we're currently making. Realize how peculiar it is to be using scouts as an advance force, but no option is to be ruled out right now. We need to try every possibility we can to maximize our chances of success. If we want to stand a chance against the Alliance, we can't afford to turn our nose up at any battle strategy. The outcome of this war effectively rests on the success of this operation. We need to pour all of our resources into it. I imagine you're already aware of this, but Operation Heimdall is currently in the final stages of its planning. We're sending our most elite scouting units to the area in preparation for it. While the Azure Tree is certainly a pressing matter, our best course of action for now is to focus on ending this war. We can turn our eyes to that later. Definitely looking at this war coming to an end with an all-out battle over Heimdall, then. That's right. We're looking at a matter of days before it begins. We have precious little time left. Be sure to use what time you do have wisely. The outcome of this war being decided over an all-out battle for Heimdall is inevitable at this point. But I can appreciate that this news may weigh heavy on your minds. Try to focus on the task at hand. Oh, Are you taking care of the herbs, Mum? I certainly am. We had to use a number of them when treating your father. It's gotten a lot colder lately, too, so I need to move the delicate seedlings into the greenhouse. She's covered in mud. She really does love her gardening. There we go. I think this little one could do with a bit more manure. Hope she's been careful not to catch a cold out here. I made sure our latest order was entirely junk-free, and thought that was the end of it. Boy, was I wrong. She ended up bringing a traveling merchant here and buying a load of weird stuff from her instead. I sure didn't see that coming. I suppose having a few oddities to get customers talking isn't such a bad thing. Doesn't do the shop any favors financially, though. Weird merchant? Weird merchant? We've got some fresh vegetables from Celtic in stock. Isn't that just wonderful? I asked a traveling merchant to come here so I could buy all kinds of unique product for our store. The farther away they come from, the more exciting their products are. The shop is so much more colourful and interesting now. I'm so glad I had that merchant come here. Sure, everyone will agree when they see how much more varied our lineup is too. Who was the merchant? I'm very curious who the merchant was. Is it someone we know? There are all these rumours going around at the bottom of the mountain, like how both armies are going to go to war. Things get bad enough, the whole country could be in trouble. Just thinking about what could happen is scary enough, but it's times like these when I've got to step up and be brave. Or not. As if I could do anything. I'm just a weak kid. Is there anything I can do to help? Look after your parents. Yeah, that's what I'd say. There's got to be something I can do. I've asked Mum and Dad to order some extra stuff for the shop. That way we're ready in case things get rough. That's good thinking, actually. That's quite good thinking. I plan on taking the next train home. It's hard to believe that half a year has passed since I stormed out. Oh, bother. Now I'm being accosted by nostalgia. Looking back on it, my home was truly a marvellous place. And so many places to fish. Oh, how blind we are to the riches around us. Just feels as though the time is right for me to return home. I owe the people of Ymir a debt of gratitude for their kindness. I've been working non-stop lately, so the station master insisted I take half a day off. Phew, time to make the most of it and take it easy until the evening. Mum seems pretty busy though. Maybe I should help her out instead. You really can't help yourself, can you? Just get some rest, okay? You've earned it. Well, I suppose. I don't know, I just can't bring myself to sit back and watch someone in need of help without offering to give them a hand. You're probably right, but this is my mom we're talking about. I'll take a bit of a break and then maybe help her out later. What's she up to anyway, that's the question. The end of the year is fast approaching, so I'm busy getting ready for the celebrations. Everyone is looking forward to them, me included. For all the trouble we've had this year, we still have a lot to thank the spirits of the mountains for. There might be a war going on, but it's still worth preserving traditions, even if the war might dampen the mood a little. So much that we need to get ready before the festivities begin. Like the food, for instance. I'm going to need to get Dad to make the offering table too. Ah, there we go. Lord Teo has been friends with His Majesty the Emperor Eugen III since his youth. When they met, they were a rural noble son and an imperial prince, but I hear they were very close. Even after they grew up, His Majesty would sometimes come to Ymir in secret to spend time with him. Admittedly, that doesn't happen much these days. But it's still clear to me that Lord Teo is distressed about the safety of his friend. As am I. His Majesty has always been a pleasant, amiable man. As far as I can tell, he and Lord Teo still view one another as close friends too. It's all the more reason why Lord Teo must be very concerned about His Majesty's safety, a sentiment I share as well. Have you heard the news about the market manager in Celtic? Still can't believe it's true. I just heard the news, so I don't think it's really hit me yet. Food here's wonderful, but kind of hard to truly appreciate it when I'm this sniffly. Otto taught me so much back when I was first starting out as a merchant. Wouldn't be where I am now if not for him. I should go back and pay my respects at least. That answers a question. Looking at you reminded me that I had a student in here not long ago. She just came up and asked me the way to go to the stone monument on the valley. Ah, yes. Still don't know why she'd want to know that. You don't think she's planning on going there alone, do you? She was very insistent, so I caved and told her. Let's hope she wasn't seriously thinking of going there. That far along the valley is no place for anyone to go alone. Hope she's safe. Yeah. Those two troublemakers are all the talk of the village right now. Always going around making a big deal out of things and drawing attention to themselves. They're like polar opposites, too. They're not bad people. The girl helped me up when I tripped over and fell. The merchant just keeps eating. I don't know how she fits it all in her tummy. That's her 4th meal now. A lot of the customers we get these days are total weirdos. Everything appears to be in order on the mountain path. Can I ask for some extra firewood, perhaps? This year's winter is proving to be quite a cold one. You got that right. Feels like it's getting colder by the day, it does. I'd be happy to go ahead and start gathering some right away. Oh, if it isn't you kids. It does this heart of mine good to see your father back to his old self, Rean. I've been so worried about him I could barely work. And now I can finally get back to doing what I do best. I'm out doing a patrol today as part of my rehabilitation. I'm not allowed to stray far from the village, though. Hate asking so much of the villagers, but I'll have to pitch in to get through the winter this year. Pant? No wolf? No wolf? What is going on here? That just isn't right at all. I think it's about time we started planning our end-of-year cleaning. What do you think? There's so much to do. I think the only way we'll finish up on time is to put our heads together and divvy up the work. Do we have to? I don't want to end up all buff from too much heavy lifting. Hang on, we eat the same amount, right? How come whatever you eat goes straight to your boobs while I'm... we eat the same, huh? Are you listening to me? Right, to the scales. Will you hold on a second? I swear, she always has to bring up the things I'm most self-conscious about. Wish she could act a bit more like the maid she's supposed to be. How does all her fat go straight to her boobs like that? Think she's just good at hiding everywhere else? I think we're gonna need to take a dip in the springs together so I can investigate. It's all in the name of research, of course. Her body is a bountiful mystery that's just begging to be solved for girls everywhere. It truly is distressing to hear about what happened in Celtic. All of Erebonia is ruled by His Majesty, not even the highest-ranking noble has the right to do such a terrible thing. His Majesty must be feeling so much heartache over this awful war. The end of the war cannot come a day too soon. It's been one tragedy after another with this war. I can scarcely imagine how distressed His Majesty must be. Now, it's hardly my place to do so, but I still worry for him. And they were making so much noise that I gave them a sample of my new recipe I've been working on. Hopefully this keeps them quiet for a while at least. Just don't make the mistake of assuming you're getting that for free. It'll be going on your tab. What? Ooh. Just kidding, enjoy. Phew. Don't scare me like that. I wouldn't dream of charging for a recipe that I haven't perfected. I'd like it if they could eat a little more quietly, though. Whoa. Soup tastes amazing, Patiri. Munch. True. You're full and give me the rest of it. Not a chance. I'm nowhere near full. See, they're making themselves at home. Well, at least they're having fun, right? Not like there are any other customers here. The hell are you looking at? You ain't getting any. This is mine. Slip. This is so good. Ymir's awesome. It is. I was thinking, like, looking at this over here, it's like, that's clearly Ymir. It's like, it's slightly different. And the angle's straight. I think it's more the angle's just odd, because it's sort of outside. It's like it's over there. That's the best way I could put it. It's like it's behind the church, which is a very odd angle for us to see Ymir from, but it's interesting to see at least. When this war comes to an end, I intend to undertake some higher-level training, much like Father Bernard did. I'm going to follow his example and travel the land, learning as much as I possibly can. Hopefully doing so will let me better serve the people of this village, as well as heal the scars this war has left on Erebonia. Of course, who knows how long it will take me to get to that level. Not me, that's for certain. There's still a lot I need to learn. I hope I'll be able to get the chance to do so soon. With the end of the year fast approaching, the village is becoming much livelier with anticipation. We intend to hold a service on New Year's Eve here to give thanks for the year's blessings. At least, I hope we can. It would be terrible to have to break from tradition. Tensions in the Empire seem to be mounting more and more each day. I hope we can at least hold our end of the year service without any problems. Sounds like the Rhinefield group's slowly beginning to stabilize. Here in Roa, that's good news for everyone. Still, with exports and weapons manufacturing on hold, they're not using as much iron and steel as they used to, which means less work for us. Feels like we've got a lot more free time now than we've ever had before. Can't wait for this war to an end and exports to finally get going again. Ask anyone else in Roa, and I'm sure they'd feel the same way. How's Our Lady Angelica doing? We've got fond memories of when she used to work with us. You should have seen our faces when we heard who she really was. Nobody else suspected that the diligent young man we took on as part-time was actually Marquis Rogner's daughter. Even so, she still felt like one of us, if you know what I mean. Still does. There's something magnetic about her. You won't find many people who can draw others like she can. No matter who she is or what she does, Lady Angelica's always one of us in my book. Whether they'll say that out loud or not, and all the other guys here are with me on that. So we're all wishing her the very best. She's doing okay with you guys. That's nice to see that though, isn't it? I hear you kids played a big part in Duke Abare's arrest. Nice work. I bet the old Duke never expected a bunch of students would bring him to justice, especially his own son. After the first big thing you did, we figured you just got lucky. Keep raking out like this, and it starts to feel like the Courageous really is the Erebonian people's only hope. You figure the first big thing you guys did was just a fluke. Looks like we were wrong. Maybe you are the hope of the people after all. Heave-ho, heave-ho. Gotta hurry on home to see Celine? And Todd? I'll do that without putting the work in first, though. One side, people coming through. But there's loads of space. What are you on about? Dick's always been the aggressive type. He's been showing that side more than ever lately. Even the chief had to sit him down and have a talk about it. I don't know what he said, but it seems to have done the trick. He's calmed down and gotten back to focusing on work now. Oh, it's a big weight off my shoulders, I tell you. Kinda hard to focus on work when the people around you are all worked up about something. So, seeing Dick back to his old self, happy self, again, is a big weight off my shoulders. I've been pretty aggressive lately, sure. Then the chief called me over and told me a story. He said that back before this mine was owned by the Emperor in the Middle Ages, there used to be wars over the iron here. Armed assailants would come to steal the iron, and the hot-headed miners resisted. And a lot of the time they ended up dead. That's when it hit me. I don't stand a chance in hell against those Jaegers. I'd just end up the same way. Yeah, there was me all full of myself and causing the chief no end of worry. Oh yeah, apparently the one who made the mine the property of the imperial family was Emperor Drycles. Ever since he did, the miners here were able to do their jobs in peace. I had no idea, but never tried to learn either, and just ended up causing the chief all these problems in my ignorance. Not often we get orders to give scraps out from the mine chief himself. I don't know what you're going to use it for, but I hope it works for you. Where the heck is Lacomo? I was going to ask him to play with me today, but there's no sign of him. Where is he? Toddy? Wait. You're not Toddy. Sorry, but I'm busy playing hide and seek with Toddy right now. That guy pops up and down. I wonder when he'll find me. I can't wait to show him how good I am at hiding. What? Someone hijacked an airliner? How could anyone threaten innocent civilians like that? I'm gonna have to teach them a lesson they won't forget. Whenever there's trouble anywhere, you want to go teach someone a lesson. Besides, the hijacking has been sorted out already. But just calm down, okay? You're a grown man. Grown men don't try to fight everyone who's involved in every news story they hear. Come on, we got work to do. You know, back inside your diner? Roa's almost back to the way it used to be. Fortunately for those of us here in the Rhineford group, though, our factory is in the Western Erebonia. I keep saying the Western Erebonia. I don't know why. Are under Alliance control. So while they may not be able to keep making their soldats in our backyard, they're still going to keep making them. Which means that until this war is brought to an end, things will never be back to normal for the Rhineford group. Things to get back to business as usual here, just as much as anyone. However that's possible hinges directly on how this war goes. Hope we manage to pull through soon. Yep, that's right, I'm manning the car today too. So this is getting ridiculous. You know, you can stop using me like some sort of servant anytime now. I'm sorry, I'm a little busy right now. I'll come in and take over if you're willing to pay your tab off though. So how about it? Guess I can stay and help a little. Damn it, she was using that tab as a weapon to keep me in line. Just better count towards paying it off. Yeah, I mean, that's only fair, right? Radio broadcasts from the capital end up censored by the Alliance, so you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. The same goes for the Imperial Chronicle. Makes it impossible to know what's really going on across the country. I've heard scary rumors about the fighting in the West, but are any of them true? I wish there was somewhere we could find out the truth about what's going on. Oh, gave it back to Arena, did you? I guess, if you can call her taking it and running off and giving it back. No, not before she gave me extra work to do. Ugh, shouldn't be surprised at this point. It still makes me mad. Ran off, did she? That's our Arena. Still, if she took it off you, I'd say that shows you it means something to her. I guess that's one way to look at it. Why can't she just admit it instead of trying to hide it? Those two might have too much in common to reconcile anytime soon. Well, I'm glad you got that watch back to Arena. I bet she's happy she got it back too. Well, I hope so. Our factory's back in business again too, but we're still at war. The economy isn't great, but any stretch, there's no guarantee that the town won't end up occupied again. The more I think about it, the more depressed I get. Our place is just about back at full working capacity now. We're getting ore in from the mine, trouble-free thanks to the chairman too. Looks to me like the war will be over in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. You're way too optimistic, Garen. Wish I could be as positive as you are, but there's no way. When there's so much to worry about. Ugh. I hear you've all been very busy since the last time you were here. I was horrified when I heard about what happened in Caldic, so I'm glad to see you put that Duke in his place. Just because your country's at war doesn't mean you should throw away your morals. You and your ship are perfect examples. The Courageous was made here in Roa, so I can't help but feel a bit of personal attachment. So you got my cheers as you go. Grab him quick. Most of the factories in town are back in operation. Great news, huh? All we need now is to get back into exports again. It's probably too much to hope for with the current climate, though. I mean, we are still at war. Military factories in town are still inactive. The town's crawling back towards normalcy, but I suppose nothing's really going to be back to normal until this war ends. Welcome, welcome. Can I interest you in any of our new Opal products? Now that the factories are starting to resume regular operations, got plenty in stock to choose from. Please, feel free to look around. We've had issues even keeping things in stock for so long now. We need to rake in some cold hard cash to cover our losses. So please, let me know if you see anything you're interested in. Oh, there's these fine grenade launchers here. I would very much be interested in them. I still believe like they do look a bit like grenade launchers. Because it's like, they've got like capsules to put in. They look like grenades. These days, Albans are completely indispensable part of our daily lives. That's why it's a relief to finally have a steady supply of them coming in to sell again. It's proving impossible to get goods out to our stores in the West, though. Hardly imagine what conditions must be like over there. It's very worrying. Sure, there are Rhinefoot factories in the West, but I think those have been churning out sold-out units full-time. Knowing that, I can't help but be concerned by how things are over there. I hear the 3rd Armored Division has finally started heading south. Might be neutral now, but the Northshire Provincial Army has never quite gotten along with them. I hope there won't be any trouble. Woof woof. The Northshire Provincial Army has been beaten many a time by Lieutenant General Vander and his men. Hope that no trouble breaks out while the 3rd Armored Division is on the move. Woof. Welcome to our store. We've got lots of fresh food in stock and ready for you to buy. Now that the trains are running again, and the roads are open for trucks again, it's a lot easier to get stock. I'm not the only one who's happy. All of the factory workers are thrilled to be back at work. I'm so glad we're neutral now. It's a gradual process, but it's plain to see that the city is going back to the way it was before the war broke out. This is much more like the Ruhr I know and love. What's this I hear about you Thor's kids fighting to get your academy back? Can't blame you, after what I've heard about the way they took that place over. So go out there and show them what for. And you do what you have to in order to take that place back. I'll be cheering you on all the way. By the way, how's little Linda? Doing well? Good. Ain't much I can do for you kids, but you've always got my support. So if you've got the chance to take back that academy of yours, don't let it get away. The factories are finally starting to produce things again, even if they're a little slower than they used to be. For good reason, of course. There's a limit on how much we can ship out. No point in making more than necessary. Then there's the whole situation along the western side of the country. No one really knows what's happening over there. Sucks to make something when there's nowhere to actually ship it to. The guys over in the west aren't running low on orbital stuff. Kinda worried about that, to be honest. There was a lot of work to do after the hijacking, but it's finally come to an end. Phew, when I think about how all of our passengers were safe and unharmed, it makes all our efforts worth it. We'll have to be more vigilant, though. No one wants that incident repeated. Airliner services should resume shortly. We apologize for any inconvenience this interruption in service may have caused. Phew, finally finished up the maintenance on the ship. She's lucky her hull wasn't damaged. Well, lucky as a ship that got hijacked can be, anyway. She'll be back in the air in no time. It's one thing after another these days. Yeah, guess that makes sense given the war and all, but... There was that thing with Celtic not far back there, right? No, the really awful one. When's this gonna end? Everything related to the hijacking sorted out now. There's a blessing. Takes me back, though. Hey! The thing I wanted him to talk about. It takes me back, though. A couple of years ago, there was an airliner hijacking in Le Burle, too. Ended up ballooning into quite the incident. Even the Royal Army got involved in trying to find the thing. I said it seems strange you didn't mention it. Come to think of it, the Sky Bandits were Erebonian too. Even that! I wonder what they're up to these days. I hear they've turned over a new leaf and run a delivery service, but who knows? Yes! Thank you, Peyton. I love you so much. Well, well, well. Have you really forgotten about me, Ricky? For all the time we've spent together. Yep, I really have. Sorry. Ricky, why? Damn, this guy's annoying. The more pitiful his expression gets, the more I want to laugh at him too. You haven't forgotten everything then. Was I seriously best friends with this loser? Allowing him to desperately cling to me, I could probably tolerate, but friends? Why does he have to be so cold after we've spent so much time apart? It's like I don't really have him back at all. I've heard rumors that Prince Oliver's appeared on the Western Front in person to call for a ceasefire. The Alliance kept insisting that he was missing and in danger, so this is odd. My apologies, such matters are not the sort of thing I should be discussing with my customers. Any man running a business would naturally be curious as to how the war is going, would he not? Still not the kind of thing I should talk to my customers about. Do try to take care, though. Cleaning's so much fun. La la la. Even got ourselves a new customer, all thanks to the radio. Somehow. See, it's just like I always say. Radios bring people good luck. Always telling people radios will bring them good luck. And I was right. Better yet, being able to listen to cheerful radio shows wherever you are cheers you right up too. They're awesome. With the Rhineford Company's ongoing restructuring, things are finally starting to calm down around here. It's amazing to see how much progress has been made in just a few days. Chairman's forcefulness may have netted her a fair share of critics, but she can get things done when it counts. She's a perfect example of what the women of Roa should be. This town wasn't just built on the backs of men. Strong women helped it develop. I hope that the chairman continues to be a role model for the next generation of Roa women. Now that some of the weapon factories in the city are back in operation, we're finally getting more supplies in. Self-defense weapons are selling really well, which, financially speaking, is fantastic news. Admittedly, those are the only weapons being made right now. Military weapons production is still suspended. Something about focusing on rebuilding the group, apparently. Guess that means it'll be self-defense for a while. I don't think we'll see any military weapons get made until after the war ends. The city's neutral now. I don't want to be seen supplying either side, or who knows what'll happen. The Ashbringer. We ended up putting the cars on hold for a while, but we're so excited about Roa's liberation we've made some new ones. They're gonna be huge sellers, I guarantee it. Ah yeah, this baby's perfect too. I didn't realize it at the time, but we must have learned a lot while we were helping Schmidt out. But after that, we started building some real monsters. These things are gonna sell like hotcakes. Just look at how powerful it is. We need to build these guys a track. Hold on, I just got an idea. What if we sell them bundled with a track? All I'm thinking is Yakuza. Professor Conley gave me a message to pass along to Harves and Grego. But just where are they? Why do they always have to be out messing around, especially when you need them? Harves and Grego have been skipping so many lectures, they're in danger of not being able to graduate. So never there when you need them. Just where have they gotten to? Well, you know, this isn't the first time that President Schmidt has had his eye on Zimbabwe and all. Decided he needed to know more about its properties for his research a few years back too. I have no idea how much trouble we went through trying to gather fragments of it from all over the country. It was an absolute nightmare, not that he cares. Ugh. President Schmidt left a message for you. If you find enough Zimbabwean ore for me to work with, come by again. Doesn't seem to have any interest in seeing you until then. Terribly sorry about that. I'm afraid that's just the kind of person our president is. Really, I do apologize. It's harsh, but he's effectively saying he has no interest in seeing you again until you've done what he's instructed. Trying to gather Zimbabwean ore fragments for his research was a total nightmare. I feel a headache coming on just thinking about it. I keep hearing stories about some giant monster showing up on one of the nearby highways. You'd think the highways would be safe now that we're neutral, but apparently not. Thanks to that thing. I mean, it's not like people are doing a whole lot of traveling these days, so whatever, but it still kind of sucks. I already got it, mate. Why do monsters have to show up and start bugging us at a time like this? I mean, we have a sense of propriety, monster. Sometimes it feels like this area is never going to be peaceful again. How nice to see that the hijacking incident ended. Without incident. I thought I understood that security was stretched thin in wartime, but the reality didn't hit me until now. Scary to think that something like that could happen again at any time. The city might be alive again. That doesn't mean things are back to normal just yet. Scary to think that something like that hijacking could happen again at literally any time. I hear the hijacking was the work of some Jaeger dropouts. They've been known to leave military monsters and weapons unattended just to disturb the public. Needless to say, they haven't exactly endeared themselves to us commoners. Jaegers are pretty common here in Erebonia. Doesn't mean their presence any less displeasing to us commoners, though. Ah, the tea here is sublime. Screenshot! Harves and Gregor's work ethic, meanwhile, is anything but. I'm really going to have to bring those two crashing back to reality sooner rather than later. I think it's about time those two had a heaping serving of reality. Unless they really want to fail this year anyway. The concert in Celtic went well, did it? That's good news. I wish I could have gone. It would have been great to see my daughter and future sister-in-law on stage, playing in perfect harmony. This is just a rumor, but... You know the Alliance's flagship, the Pantagruel? I heard it was manufactured by the Rhinefoot Company. Their sold-outs are too, so it's not a huge surprise, but still. It really shows you how amoral the company can be. It's kind of sad. I used to want to work for them so badly. The Rhinefoot Company's internal politics seem pretty complex. I'm not sure how I feel about that. To think that hijacking would end up being resolved by a bunch of students. A commendable achievement, I suppose. Leave the culprits to us now. They certainly won't be escaping from the cell we throw them into. They're going to regret ever setting foot in our province. Yes. I can't say I enjoy being forced to stand back and watch as the 3rd Armored Division heads south. And those are our orders. If that's what His Lordship wishes for us to do, that's exactly what we will do. If you're wondering why more and more people around here know about the Courageous' recent exploits, that's all us. I don't think there's a person in Row who we haven't told about all of your adventures. Never underestimate a girl's power to talk. Guess who's decided to start an unofficial Courageous fan club? They're going around spreading the word about all the great things the Courageous is doing and getting even more fans. Can't wait to tell everyone about whatever amazing things Lady Angelica does next. We of Row Cathedral are doing all we can to help those in need during these trying times. Just the other day, I was out on the border with Western Erebonia, speaking to refugees who had managed to flee across it. They were so concerned that they didn't have enough medical supplies, so I intend to send some their way. I want to know what's going on. You know, it's this strange thing of like, I love a game. It's that odd thing of like, with how many Cold Steel games are. How many Cold... Words fail me, strangely enough. I would love another Cold Steel game, basically, despite how many Cold Steel games there are. There we go. Got to the actual point there. Because I'd love to have a game set now, like with Prince Olivert or something like that, and see what was going on in Western Erebonia at this point. Yeah. It's the duty of a sister of the church to do her utmost to ease people's concerns. The country may be facing hard times, but that's all the more reason I have to do what I can to help. Indeed. Also, I noticed the texture here is very odd on the wall. Either that or it's wallpaper and they've really messed it up. You need to redo the wallpaper. Over here as well. Oh dear. The tragedy that occurred in Celtic came as a terrible shock to all of us. We sent aid to Celtic on many occasions and made many appeals on behalf of its people. But in the wake of this, I find myself wondering if we did the right thing after all. Sister Seo was out working in the community at the time, so she's yet to hear what happened. Oh no. Fear the news will fall heavily on her, especially since she's still new. But I can't hide the truth from her. I'll have to find a good opportunity to sit down and talk with her. Oh no. I've heard all about the tragedy that happened upon Celtic. Sounds like over in the West, they can hardly go a week without a new disaster befalling them. These are trying times. I only wish there were more we could do for all the victims than simply send them aid. I've already drafted a letter of condemnation to the Alliance for their actions. Unfortunately, there's little more I can do. Something crazy happened over in Crossbell? Not again. I swear, how are we supposed to export things with the Transcontinental Railroad out of commission? Suppose we could try air transport. Well, even the sea would be an option if it came down to it. And imagine I'm the only employee of the rival group who wants us exporting things again. Wonder what the chairman's plans for that are. You really have some Class D amplifiers. That's fantastic news. Would you mind sharing some of them with us? We'll loan you one of our manufacturing factories if you do. An entire factory? You're sure? Be amazing, thank you so much. Hardly. Your amplifiers are a real help. You really want those amplifiers. That's very true. The way the company is structured doesn't exactly support cross-division communication. Still, it's never too late to start. If anything comes up in the future, you'll be the first person I come to. Likewise, I think this might be the start of a very long and fruitful business relationship. Come to think of it, our divisions never really interacted much before, did they? If I'd have known you had so much high-end technology at your disposal, I would have come to you earlier. I wouldn't have expected the Imperial Army to take control of Berea hard. It's a real turning point in the war as a whole, particularly here in the east. Do be careful. We'll be keeping our ears to the ground for any future updates from that front. You won't find a more capable limousine anywhere in Zamburia. Quite popular here in Rua, too. I must admit, I'm somewhat taken aback that a man of your caliber doesn't have one. Fairly. Still, with things as unpredictable as they are, I'm going to need to put a lot of thought into this. Wait, he's passenger. Why would he want a car? He's going to sit in the back. He's going to sit in the back, of course. The chairman organized an investigation into the mysterious 5th Development Division, and what we found shocked us. Turns out that it isn't really part of the group at all. It appears to be run by someone completely unrelated. To make matters worse, still unsure as to what's going on in the factories to the west. Rebuilding the group will be no easy task, let me tell you. The chairman has ordered more investigations into the 5th Division, and it may take some time. I'm sure that all will be revealed eventually. Most of the factories in the city have resumed operation now. It means we've started supplying parts and working with other companies and corporations again. It's all due to the chairman's exceptional work. Some issues still remain, but I'm sure she'll have everything in order soon. Things are almost back to the way they were here in Rua. One look at the chairman and you'd think she'd have everything under control again. The investigation of those archaisms Heidel Rogner was using in here is finally complete. Looks like he got them from some black market source, and in bulk no less. Scary to think that there's tech out there that surpasses our efforts and isn't even too hard to get. I hate to say it, but we need to prepare for the possibility that we'll come up against stuff like that again. Seems like those archaisms are out there in droves if you know where to look. Terrorists were using them too. Very real chance we'll be up against things like that again. We'll need to make sure we're prepared. No, I'm afraid this is as low as I can possibly go. I find that hard to believe. Come now, I'm sure you can go a little lower. General Le Guin and Brigadier General Bardius are both true masters of combat. Have you ever been fortunate enough to witness them in battle? If not, you may well do so soon. Word is that they've returned from the Western Front. We've received word from the 3rd Armored Division that they're going to be passing through here. Can't exactly pretend to be their biggest fans, but his lordship has insisted that we leave them alone. We'll do as we're told. Now Kreuzen's neutral too. Didn't see that one coming. It doesn't make sense, given what they're accused of. Especially when Princess Alphin's the one doing the accusing. Powerful as the Noble Alliance is, they're not gonna try and defend anyone accused of burning their lands. Chances are they're just gonna stay out of the whole thing. Probably wise. The soldiers in this province are just as hard-headed as they are hot-blooded. Being stubborn isn't always a bad thing, though. I like that because they generally believe in what they fight for. And they're very pure at heart. It's kind of cute when you think about how childlike they are. My husband was the same. Looking at the soldiers in the provincial army also reminds me of my late husband. Can't imagine a job I'd like more.